Yo, 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 yo. Hey, what it do? I am here. So are you. Hopefully. I don't know. But we do. Hey, we gon' kill it and killing it and killing it. Yeah. I'm killing it and killing it and killing it. Yeah. I'm killing it and killing it and killing it. Yeah. It's time for me to stream. You just feeling it. Yeah. Because What up, what up? My bad, I'm eating on the stream. Your boy's here. Have a lot of stuff to do. Not a lot of stuff, but I do have a plan for the day. I have a plan for, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have started eating this banana. I'll eat you after the stream. So, I have quite a few things planned for today. I'm also have a few things planned for, I think, the next 6 months. And just gonna go over it really quick, kind of like where I'm at, what I'm gonna do, and then we're just gonna jump into it because there's no time to waste. Sorry, froze, because this message is mainly for you. Whoever's watching, they can see it, whatever, but this is for you. You're gonna see this recording later. Yo, focus on the stuff that you got going on right now, right? Your goal is to release 2 apps within the next 6 months. 2 simple apps. This one is going to be one of them, which is my social stat app, just to keep track of my subscribers and viewers on all the aggregated platforms. Ideally, for now, it's just going to be YouTube. That's app number 1 is going to be released. And then app number 2, I still don't know what it is yet, but I plan to do some research on it on stream and learn how to deal with the analytics and the keywords and these different tools, ASO tools that we have out there, so I can try to discover what a niche app keyword could be and then build that niche app just to test it out and see what happens. So those are the 2 apps I'm trying to release within the next 6 months. On top of that, I'm planning some video series on YouTube for educational purposes. When I won't say for educational purposes, I would say mainly for people to realize that sometimes we overthink when we build apps. I know I do that a lot. So I want to build this series like don't even go in thinking about clean architecture, right? Because at the end of the day, all we want to do is build an app. The user only cares about the app that's built. They don't care how it was built. So I'm going to do a video series where I initially just start with an idea, which is to do a Pokemon card trading kind of app. Build that as fast as possible. I might introduce stuff like GraphQL, for instance, but build it as fast as possible and then refactor as we go in the video series, right? So initially, the first thing we'll do is just introduce, make a network call. Where that network call lives, it could live right in main activity for now. Who knows? It doesn't matter. But we're just going to want to make it as fast as possible. Next step would be like, okay, now that we have this network call, let's load the images on the screen. After we do all of this, okay, maybe a next series on refactoring the 2 things we just previously did. So, I don't know, it's going to be a build-up of a series that I feel people will benefit to see kind of like how just getting the MVP out as fast as possible is worth it. So it doesn't have to, we don't have to learn all of these concepts to build an app. Like, just go ahead and build it. So that's what I want to show in the video series, and I'm hoping it'll be a good one. But yeah, that's on the plan alongside with my 2 apps that I want to release. On top of that, I do have some other video ideas that I want to do to educate people, but not all. But I don't want to be labeled as an educator, right? I want to be labeled as the guy that's building the app and gonna eventually become, have a passive income because of these apps. So that's my goal. I have a feeling, early on I was thinking that the approach of making a really big app to eventually become, paid or make money off of this app. But to be honest, I think it makes more sense to just build multiple apps and aggregate those, subscriptions or whatever the case may be. And that aggregated could then potentially make a decent income over a month. So the idea is to build fast, build small, and ship. So that's my goal for the next 6 months, at least for those two apps, alongside with the YouTube stuff. So dope. Let me get a little sip of my coffee. Let's go over what we're actually going to be doing today for this app, and then we can jump into the code. Dope. So first things first, what are we going to do today? Man, this coffee's good. We are continuing my social stats stream. This is my stream. It's for social stats. So social stat app. What is this? This is an app that is very simple. The idea is I can search up for any username based on a social media platform. Initially, I'm only going to support YouTube. Eventually, I think I want to support Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok. And so for now, the search and functionality only works for YouTube, or the stats only works for YouTube. Once you find that username on the YouTube, whatever, you are able to see all of their stats that they've accumulated for that, and using basically their APIs. So we'll be able to know your subscriber count, potentially all the lifetime likes, maybe the videos are the highest numbers or total views. I don't know, all of the stat information. I'm planning to use that API to then build an app that you can then have a widget on your home screen, and you can see almost real time what your stats are on YouTube. Eventually, I want to have the ability to merge multiple social platforms for that username. So for instance, if you're looking for Frozer on YouTube, we extract YouTube out. Then we want to link that to Twitch, TikTok, and Instagram. So I'll link those social media, and then we now have like a hub of all of your analytics in one little app. That's eventually like the end goal, big long-term goal. But for now, I just want the ability to see my YouTube stats and to be able to view it on a widget. So today, I want to have some basic stuff done. And let's go ahead and take a look at that, and then we'll speak about what I'm trying to do today. Okay, let's see here. What am I trying to do? Let's open up this Pixel 6 Pro. No, and then let's see here. I'm thinking about wanting to use my actual physical device, and then but I don't have it set up with the Wi-Fi, I don't think. Is this set up with your Wi-Fi? Let me see if I can set this up really quick. Because I was trying to install CSRCPY and it wasn't working for me. If it's not working, then it makes no sense for doing it. Okay, CSRCPY is working. So instead, this is how I'm going to do this. I'm going to try and use my email data then for this instead. So go over to desktop 2, and then how can I connect this via ADB wirelessly? This is a really old phone, by the way. Let's see here. Wi-Fi developer options. Wi-Fi debugging. Where's Wi-Fi? USB debugging. Wireless debugging. Please connect to a Wi-Fi network. Okay. 81212. Buckle my shoe, you know what it do. It's your boy Young, he rapping here with you. If you don't like it, then you can go shoo. Oh, yes, I'm just feeling it. I am trying to do this and dealing it. I don't know what's going on here. I need to connect to the internet, but my internet is not working. You're just really working. I don't know what you want to say. Today, failed to connect network. What the hell is going on with my Wi-Fi, yo? I don't wanna know what you're gonna do. But if it's you and me, then we can go through, you know. Hey, you know how I be singing. Could not connect. Oh my gosh. Okay. I need to. Okay, I guess I have to use the emulator, so we'll just leave it like this. I'll make sure to have that figured out next time to support using my my physical device instead of the emulator. It's nice to, I highly recommend getting initial development done with the emulator. That's fine, but you need to definitely test on a physical device. Not only that, you should test on the production version on a physical device, because there might be things, especially if you have ProGuard enabled, for instance, there might be things that will not surface or you won't see it until you actually get to run it on a production environment. So, man, my words just like jumble up. But yes, test on a device on a prod build to make sure you don't have any crashes. So, okay, what am I going to do today? I already know. We said here in my to-dos that we're going to tell. Okay, sorry, I meant to show what it looks like first, and then we go into it. Oh man, I'm all over the place. Just drink the water. That was delicious. Okay, dope. Okay. So let's see here. This is the app initially, and I'm able to search somebody like Mr. Beast, for instance. I need to do a spinning logo, and then I get to find all of the channels that I could potentially favorite. Once I favorite these channels, whichever one I favorite, I can then use this widget here eventually to view everything about that particular person. But to choose which user or which profile I want to get stats from, I need to choose out of the ones that I have here, which one is it that I want to view. So this is the next step, right? I have now, this is launched whenever you're trying to configure the widget. Now I want to be able to persist what profile that widget is going to be tracking. And then eventually we're going to be able to feed that from the database to update the widget over time. We'll have to introduce worker manager and all of that stuff. So we'll get there eventually. For now, I need to learn, because I don't know. I need to learn how to actually save the widget. So yeah, I have a bunch of tabs here that I'm going to take a look at. So I know for a fact, schedule tasks at work manager. This is what I'm gonna need eventually. Oh yeah, this is how I was gonna get the API. Checking the subscriber count. Understand your subscriber count. Your subscriber count updates for every. So I feel like I need to put this disclaimer somewhere. This little table, because I was taking a look at a app that's gonna be like a competitor. And the number one bad review issue, sorry, this is not that large. Okay, so yeah, I was looking at the competitor for this app, and the number one bad review message was that, hey, your subscriber count is not accurate. You say I have 1,000 subscribers, but really I have, you say I have So, okay. Oh my goodness. I was doing some competitor analysis. I don't even know if that's the word, but some light competitor analysis of an app that I'm going to be competing with. The number one bad review was that the subscriber count is not accurate. They're seeing rounded numbers. For instance, if you had a subscriber count of 1,192, you will only see 1,990. Why is that? Well, if you see here in this table, it says the count will only be reflected for every 10 new subscribers, for instance, between 1,999 subscribers. So the users did not understand that the count that they're seeing will not update as often as they think. It's only going to be updating on these subscribers, like on these milestones, right? At this rate on these milestones. So I need to figure out a way on how to convey this information to the user. That way they understand how the stats actually work. So what I'm going to do here, actually, I'm going to take a screenshot of this. So yeah, to understand how your subscriber count will be displayed, use the table below. For example, if I have 122 subscribers, you don't see that. If you have 1,234, this is what you're going to see, because it's every 10, right? 12,245, you're still only going to see that, and only once you hit 12,400 is when this number is going to update. So yeah, let me take a screenshot actually of this one. And I'm going to add it here to my notes. Relay to user the following information somehow. Right? So now we know, right? And I'll have to fix this eventually. But for now, let's see how we can tell the widget what user should track. Right now, if I click this button, that's the one that's going to tell me, no, not here. I'm in this widget here. Yeah. So when I click this item, it's going to tell me which one of these profiles were the one that's clicked, and I need to store that in a way my widget can use. And the way we do that is somewhere around here. All right, so let's take a look at this one. These are this Google Samples GitHub repository, and they have a repository on the on Glance, which is the toolkit I'm using to build my widgets. So yeah, if you find open source code like this, definitely take a stab through it, because there's a lot of the times there's somebody who already did the thing you're trying to do. So that means you can learn from them. Or secondly, it's just nice to be able, you might learn something new you never knew when you're trying to look for the things you're trying to learn. Back. So this is the app widgets. Let's see here, the source, Java, okay, Glance. Glance is the thing we're using, right? So weather, okay, what is this weather here? As a weather receiver, no. I want you to stay how you were. Yeah, like that. Weather Glance receiver. So when this gets launched, it goes and it gets the widget, but then it uses this repo, which looks like it's a singleton. Yeah, it is a singleton. Update weather info. Current weather value. Okay, so then this is public. That means this is used somewhere. So if I go ahead and try to search this, current weather, that's used in Weather Glance widget. So if we go to Weather Glance widget, and I could have clicked on it, but I wanted to go here. Okay, so this is the weather info right here. And then based on that information, okay. But this doesn't hold, I don't think. Okay, so this won't work for me, because this, it seems like is only for the current weather, but it's not for, let's say if I wanted to do the weather for Italy versus the weather for Argentina. If I want to keep track of multiple weathers, this widget won't work. It only works for one weather, which is the current weather. In my scenario, I want it to work for multiple profiles. So having a singleton like this won't work for me. I need to figure out a way on how to make sure my widget has its own data it can use. So if there's like shared preferences in widgets, I could store the ID of the profile I'm trying to view for that widget in that shared preference. So whenever my widget launches its code to be updated, it can use its shared preference value to fetch that profile from the database to update what we have, or maybe even from the network. We could just issue a job to worker manager to say, hey, go update, and then that will go and do the network call and update to the database. And since the database will be observing the changes in the database, then we should get an update on the widget side of things, and it will update the UI. So I need to figure out if there's a way to store something like shared preferences for widgets. What was this? Demystifying Jetpack unplug. Okay. This is glance. Okay, I know what's a receiver. Team and stack material team. Should I provide color? How do I create shapes? Okay, I don't care about that. Updating the app widget. Okay, you built your glanceable, but now how you update? Load the data to display or handle data state changes. Okay, this is the area that I want. Do I need the receiver to update the app widget? The receiver is needed to handle Android OS events such as unupdate, but you can update your glance app widget instance from anywhere in your app, as long as you do it inside a core routine. Avoid sending updates events to the receiver. Instead, use one of the following mechanisms. My app widget. You update a specific instance of my app. But how can I get the active app widget? Update all place instances. Iterate over all place instances of my app widget and update if the state of the instance matches the given predicate. Okay. Update if the preferences. So if the state, the key for that widget is the type destination. Okay, I think this is the one that I want. Yeah, I think this is this one updates the specific one, I guess with the glance ID. Yes, I could use this one too. Yeah, this might be the one I want to use. No, use the glance app widget manager, that glance IDs, to retrieve the glance IDs. Okay, why is this important? Because if we take a look here, my widget has a glance ID. So if I can store this in the preferences somewhere, or if I can gain access to this glance ID from somewhere, I don't know, can I put it in the shared preferences and then send it to this? Oh yeah, can I do this? Oh yeah, I can do this. So then I can get the ID, this glance ID, I can get it from hold on. This is not how it's gonna work actually. This is not how it's gonna work. I won't have this ID here yet, because the real reason how this is working is once we see in the manifest that we're launching that app, and if it doesn't have anything, right? So look at this widget info. Yeah, she's gonna launch this configure activity because it doesn't have anything. Okay, but I can get the app widget ID here. Set the result to cancel. This will cause the widget host to cancel out of the widget placement of the user back. I don't remember how I got this ID. Okay, but anyways, this is the way that said you can get the IDs. It said it's if I say glance app widget manager, app widget manager that, come on, baby. Yeah. Import. Come on, import. Do I need to do this? No. Come on, ID. Glance. All right. Why are you not working? This is an object. Okay. Do I need to give it context to get it? Because this doesn't give me anything. This, I don't have anything like this I can use. Get glance by ID. Get app widget ID. Get glance IDs. This might be the one I want to use. Update if, okay. Let's just kind of see what's going on here, because this is not, yeah, see, this is even 4.4. Also, we recommend checking the optimization for updating widget content. I might need to read that. But instead of using the app widget manager, use one of the mechanisms in this section. What is this? Optimization for updated widget content. Okay, I think I prefer looking at this, because this here is the Google documentation. Granted that the documentation is not always 100% like the best, but I think I'd rather look at this that way. I go from the source, and then if I can find issues, if I find issues down the line, I can then look it up. So let's see here. Types of widgets updates. There are 3 ways to update a widget: full update, partial update in the case of a collection widget, a data refresh. That's probably what I'm gonna want. All right, the full update, you call update app widget with an int and the remote views to fully update the widget. This replaces the previously provided remote views with a new remote view. This is the most computational expensive update. So I think I only need to do this if, for instance, my widget changes in general. For migration, I guess. Partial update. Call app widget partial update to update parts of the widget. This merges the new remote views with the previously provided remote views. This method is ignored if a widget doesn't receive at least one full update through. Collection data. Notify app widget view data change to validate the data of the collection view in your widget. This triggers the on data set change. Okay. But I need the app widget ID. Okay, which I can get here. I just got the app widget ID actually, right here. So I can use this to update it. Okay. So like, for instance, yeah, here, I can then say, well, what's this list view here thing? What's this list view thing? Why do I need to give it a view ID? The collection view ID. Collection view ID. Where is that from? I don't know. Yo, my phone. Okay, let's see. You can call these providers from anywhere in your app as long as the app has the same UID as the corresponding app widget provider class. Determine how often to update a widget. Widgets updated periodically depending on the value provided by the update millis attribute. Okay, so I can say like update every hour or every 30 minutes. The widget can update in response to user interaction, broadcast updates, or both. Update periodically. You can control the frequency of the periodic updates by specifying a value for this, which I do already. Right in my configure here, no, my widget here. Sorry, this one. I can specify here. This is the one they're saying that I can use to specify how often it should update. And this is in milli, so I don't know what that corresponds to, but at least here we know that that's how I'll be able to specify that value. Oh man, the reason I'm sitting this way is because my neck hurts a lot. But I think maybe I should stand up. I don't know. Oh yeah. This is called old age. Oh man, old age. It's okay. We're here though. We're here. I did tell you that. That. All right, make us here. Each update triggers the app widget an update method, which is where you can place the code to update a widget. The Embark as receiver updates. Load data sequence need to take more than 10 seconds to update. Okay. It doesn't support values of less than 30 minutes. 30 minutes is good for me, I think. You can let users adjust the frequency of updates in configuration. For example, they might want a stock sticker to update every 15 minutes or only 4 times a day. In this case, set the update period millis to 0 and use the work manager instead. Okay, so sounds to me that I can start off initially with just update period millis, and then eventually I have a feature where I can allow the user to set how often they want the widget to frequently update. So I'm just gonna copy over this text. So I know that this is my cue that, hey, you can refresh this, we can implement this feature so you can refresh. You can choose how often you want to refresh eventually in the future. Feature allow user to configure time sync frequency, and then we're going to do this here. I'm going to paste this here. All right, and maybe we can just do like a link here. Yep, like that. Dope. All right. So updated response in using repeating tasks worker manager is a good option, but similar power restrictions apply. So you might have some restrictions at the broadcast receiver. Here are some recommended ways to update the widget based on user interaction. From an activity of the app. Okay. Directly call app widget manager app update widget in response to user interaction, such as the user's app. For remote interactions, such as a notification or an app widget, construct a pending intent, then update the widget from the invoked activity, broadcast or service. You can choose your own priority. Okay. Maybe. Update response to broadcast event. Considerations of the widget from broadcast receive. Duration of the update. I just want to jump in and start doing this. Build accurate previews that include dynamic items. Okay, this is something we'll have to come back to. And it's in XML, which I don't like. All right. What's widget collections? The same type, so there's a collection of pictures. Collection widgets typically focuses on 2 cases: browsing the collection and opening an element of the collection to detail. Collection widgets can scroll vertically. Is there an example of a picture? The code exception in this section are also drawn in the stack widget. Okay, I don't think this is what I need. Set the fill intent, keep collection data refresh. Of a widget to use collections. I don't think this is what I want. What I think I want to do is, eventually I'll use dynamics. Let's see here. Improve your app's widget picker experience. Add scalable widget previews. Add description. No, it's not what I want. Advanced. Determine how often to update the widget. I think this works for me. But then how do I update it? So when I was reading this article, it says that we could use this to get the glance ID, and then we can update that one with its preferences here. Looks like. How to update the widget from configuration activity? And as you to provide an activity that would be launched on the widget first place or on reconfiguration. As explained in this guide, you can retrieve the app widget ID from intent. Currently, there is no mechanism to convert it to glance ID. While we're looking into it, you could use the last glance ID from get glance IDs, since it will be the last place app widget. This is not what I like. I don't like this. Can I update my app widget from a non-main thread scope? Okay. Because our Monetization glance is currently not supported and most relevant, we don't recommend using side effects. Okay, can you remember? Okay. Here's a quick example. To ensure you have, okay, hold on. Instead, define a glance state definition. What is this? A glance state definition. Oh my gosh, glance state definition. Application state. The state or content of the app is required by the widget. Manage and update glance. Glance state. The specific state that is only relevant to the app widget and does not necessarily modify or affect the app's state. For example, a checkbox was an widget or counter was increase. Required by the, for example, this is, yeah, okay. This is what I might want. Should be passive. Each application is responsible for managing the data layer and handling the states, such as idle. For example, the following code retrieves the destinations from in-memory cache from the repository layer. I want this to be dynamic though. This destination, I want it to be, instead of repository destinations collect a state, I want it to be repository fetch user profile by this profile ID collect a state. Whenever the state or data changes in steps identify that widget, okay, yeah, update glance. This is how you update with the glance ID. But if I only have the app widget ID, how can I update it? To obtain the glance ID, query the glance app widget manager. Glance IDs. But yeah, I don't want to update every single one. You know what I mean? These methods can be called from any part of your application. Because they are suspended functions, we recommend launching them outside of your main thread scope. In the following example, they're launched in a coroutine worker. Okay. This doesn't tell me much. But okay, so yeah, share your states receive even if is good. So this was a state definition here. Preference class state definition. Current state. Okay, is this something on the glance widget? State. Hold on. What's it called? What they called it? State definition. Oh, it is. Data store for widget data specific to the view. Huh. So what is this? Okay. So this is my this is my preferences that I was talking about. Okay. So then I should have methods. This had methods. These are probably extension methods. So what's current state? Yeah, these are probably extension methods. Current state. Let's take a look at this. So if I'm in here. Oh, see, I was looking at this earlier. Current state, yeah. Counter key. That's something they probably defined. Yeah, that's something they probably defined. Somewhere outside of the composition and callback of the app widget state. Okay. Don't forget to trigger the update. Update widget state doesn't automatically trigger the app widget update. You must manually trigger it. I see. How to fetch data. We're working on ways to make this easier, but it's not specific to glance. Except for app widgets without overlapping views. The best way to fetch data synchronously in the background is by using Work Manager. and store the data as recommended in the guide to background work. Okay. Is this part of the widgets? No, it's not. This is just in general how we need to persist stuff. Okay. Yeah, I mean, just good practices to persist stuff, basically it's the same. Important part is to avoid launching new workers either consecutively or when data is already loaded. To speed up development, we recommend creating the following launch configuration. This ensures app widget is updated without launching the activity. Okay, let's do that run configuration really quick then. Edit configuration, let's add a new one. It doesn't have, we say app, say app widget. Oh, no. I want to edit app widget, and then it says, okay, oh, let's do the little dash. I like the little dash. It says general, always install with package manager, and then launch, and we say nothing. Module not specified. No module is the app main. No launch flags. We say nothing. Oh, apply. Okay. All right, cool. What's next? All right, this doesn't tell me much. I mean, I got a lot of stuff out of this, but it doesn't help with what I'm trying to figure out. Sorry, it does help because now I found out about the current state, right? And the more importantly, this preference glance state definition. And I want to know how we can use this better. Examples. Glance state definition. Let's take a look at this. Okay, this doesn't help. Components, create a widget, recycle view. Okay, is there anything with current state here? Get data from preferences. Press key. Okay, no. To get preferences, there's a provision of preferences in Jetpack Glance. By default, they use a data store to store data in preferences. Different type of preferences key. Okay, int preference key. Dope. So I probably just need like an int, or maybe I need a string for the ID, because the ID. Well, the ID is going to be local to me, so I'll have it be a long, actually. Oh, yeah, I'll have it be a long in my back. Oh, that feels so good. Oh my gosh. Oh, yeah. Ah, that felt so good. I need to do it more often, actually. Oh, good. Okay. So I can use this long preference key. To get pref in Glance, you should do the following. This should be concept of a composable function. So current state prefs with that key. Okay, and then I give it the key that I define. Gotcha. To set it, this is how you set it. Okay, fine. This is okay. This lets me know how I can access it. I want to know how I can set it from outside of the Glance application. So let's see here. Next, we create a method for run a callback. This is all within the widget, which I don't care for right now. Right. Where is this pref being used? Let's see here. Pref is being used to get the current number, and then he uses it to update it after somebody clicks something, they run it. Once they click this something, we update the state with a new counter update. All right, this is all within the context of a widget. I want it within the context of like the application versus the widget. All right, yeah, this is all in the widget. I don't care for it within the widget. All right, so this is number 1, I guess. Let's go to, well, that was part 5. Okay, this doesn't help me. Sorry, but this doesn't help me. Tools, anytime past year. Let's see if there's more recently stuff. How to make unique data store for each glance app. All right. How to send data from activity to glance. Filters, tools, anytime past. Oh, past year. It's not user interaction. This is not what I want. Okay. If I want to notice, I have this app widget ID, but I don't know what this app widget ID does. Notifies a specific collection view. There's a collection view in all the specified app widget instances to validate their data. Or in this case, it's just for that specific app widget instance. So let me see. App, oh my gosh. Widget ID to glance ID. How can I do this? How to get the app widget ID of a composed glance ID. I will tell all the widgets that user has created. I want to customize individual widgets using the coordinate table entry and update the coordinate table entry upon interaction widget. All right, so this is interesting because I can save the app widget, right? Yes, because in the configure here, once this gets launched, I know what app widget it is. So I could store this locally, say, hey, this is the app widget they just created, and this is the ID for the profile that they're trying to connect this app widget to. So if that's the case, man, I'm already been streaming for an hour and I'm just in the research phase. Okay, let's see here. When the user clicks on the widget, I want to update only the entry for the widget that was clicked, the non-glance, in the non-glance word. I do this by adding a click listener on every widget, which looks like this. Get instance, update widget, okay, widget view. But what's this widget view? What's this widget layout? I don't have a widget layout. Is that this? I don't know where those come into play, but okay. I would expect a widget ID here, yeah. But I only see glance ID. Can I use this to get the app widget ID or directly use glance ID as an identifier in my table? Okay, so I can get an app widget from the glance ID. Okay, okay. So I can get app widget from a glance ID. This is fine. App widget ID, app widget ID. Okay. This should be, let me verify that this is something that I can do. Right? Because I should be able to access the glance app manager from within the glance code. So ID. It's gonna give me app widget ID. Then here I have the app widget ID, right? So what I can use this, I can do use app widget ID to fetch from DB what user profile I want to load. Right, so I can have a use case that says that get social stat by widget ID, and I give it the app widget ID, right? And then this will make sure it can load all of the user information for me, because yeah, here I can store it. I can store it here, and then I can pull it out there. All right, dope. So I'm not gonna introduce a database right now. That's like too much of an overload for me, right? Let me rephrase this because I think this is a good point. What I need to do right now is I need to load data that was stored from my regular application. I need to load that from my Glance application, right? So the way it's working is once I launch my app widget, there's this activity that gets launched to configure the app widget. In this activity, we get to choose a particular user profile that the widget is going to display. But since their communication mechanism is a little bit over the place, well, not over the place, but anyways, the way I can handle that communication is whenever you choose what profile you want to view while you're configuring this widget, we will store the ID of this widget to the user profile that you've selected. So we're doing a map, right? A map from the app widget ID to the user profile. And then once we have that mapping stored somewhere, right now I don't care where it's stored. It could be hard-coded for now, but we can pretend it's being stored somewhere. I can then use that to fetch the specific information for that app widget once the app widget launches. So when the app widget launches, it's going to do this provide glance, and then we can extract from the database based on my own app widget ID that information. So dope. Okay. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to have like a hard-coded, not use case, but maybe like a repo, hard-coded repo that's going to, based on whatever widget ID this is, it doesn't matter what the widget ID I'm going to provide. I'm just going to always provide back some mock data, and then we're going to use that mock data to build the actual UI of the widget. So let's see here. What is that going to look like? Child ID action parameter. I see. So this is how we can put this here to get that. I don't think I need this actually. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to need this because this is not going to have a button. Instead, this is going to probably have like, I don't know, it's probably going to be, let's see. How can we make this look? Maybe just two cards like that and an image. So I probably have like a row here with a, I'm going to put an icon for now so we can see it. Icons, what's it called? Icons that outline that. Oh, what's sharp? I don't know what sharp is, but we'll put sharp that. Account box for now, I guess. And then we'll put no. And then below that, we're going to have a row, and this row is going to have two cards. One on the left and one on the right, and we need to pull in the glance. And I hope we have cards on glance as well. I don't think so. Where's this card from? Let's see here. Compose. Yeah, I can't use this. I can't use this. I can use these two. With this icon, I can't bring in this icon. I need to bring in the glance version. If we don't have a glance version, then I can't bring it in. No. Let's see. Glance icon. Glance Android image. Implement the glance. Okay, let's see. Glance material 3 components. Yeah, I want to know all the available components here that we have. Okay, only color providers. Glance material. Okay, what do we have here? Just give me all the list of other components. Oh man. Come on, why are you not loading, homie? Oh man. Oh, is that what it was? Material. Okay. How did I find all of these components? Yeah, where are these defined at? Okay, these are the, there we go. This is what I need. There you go, layout. These are the only top level functions we have. Oh my gosh. Okay. Material doesn't show much. Glance app widget. No, I need to know what components are supported. And I don't know how I can find that, to be honest. Layout column row. There's image. Okay, can I just do an image then? All right, I don't know if this exists, but let's figure it out here. I know there's this is what I want to see here. Come on, show me the package. Damn it. Emittable box. What is emittable box? Modifier, glance modifier. I don't know what it is. Okay, if I do project and I go here, there we go. So I can see here. This is the trick, not a trick, but this is a tip. All right, if you have, if you're exploring the package of, okay, let me go back. If you're in the source code of Android, right? This is an Android glance source code, right? I've downloaded it, I have it in my IDE. Now, if I want to see what's all inside of that package, the trick is up here in the top right, not in the top right corner, because it might depend on where your ID is, but in your file explorer, instead of having the Android view, select the project view, and then you can just hit this button here, and it's going to go to that package, to that folder that we downloaded with the documentation, and we can see everything that's inside of that package. So this is a good way for you to kind of see what all you can actually use, because I can't find it in documentation. Maybe I'm not looking at it right, but this is very easier for me to just take a look. So I can see that there's a row, there's a box, as far as layouts are concerned. But I don't see, all these are stuff to modify it, but I don't see anything that's component related. So let's see if we have this material 3 one. What are all in this material 3? This just gives me material 3 teams. Okay. What about this app widget? Nah, this doesn't give me anything I want. Coroutine, remote views, switch colors, size box. Okay, but there's nothing like a card or anything, which is okay. I could probably add shadows and stuff to whatever I want. I was just hoping that the material 3 would give me some better options. Let's do one more thing and try to Google based on this package, see if we find anything, but if not, then I'm just gonna move forward. Let's say 1. Okay, this isn't telling me. This is the only source file. Yeah, just for colors. I want to know what components are supported by glance. Oh, glance is for wear as well. Interesting. That's cool. Maybe I could add a watch companion, because I have a watch now. That'd be cool to kind of just see my stats on it. You can get that with a free version. You pay $1.99 a year. Oh man. All right. This is not what I want. Does this have components? The components. Glance textile component demo. Okay. I'm just gonna go through and try to build it based with boxes and stuff. So yeah, instead of it being a card, which I don't think will work. Yeah, I don't think these are gonna work. I don't think those are gonna work. Image. Where's this image from? Glance. Okay, we can use this image. Can this provider be the icons, that sharp, that whatever, that box? Image provider found image vector. Okay. image provider found image vector. Is there a way to convert it from image vector to image provider? I am stuck on the exact same problem. Well, the managed solution advanced. I'd like 200. Yeah, I want to use material icons too. So I guess this is not doable. You should be able to use something like this: provider, Android resource provider. Use the Asset Studio. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this, I can't convert this to like to image. No. All right, for now, you know what? I'm just gonna try to see if there's a card. This is compose material. Yeah, there's no card. So instead I'll just do what, a box? A box, and it's gonna have a text inside of it, right? And which text is this? Glance text, and this text is gonna say, I don't know what it's gonna say yet. Total views, whatever. For now, what I'm gonna make is this thing gotta be fill max size. Glance modify that, fill max size. Yeah, we figured this piece out here. For now, I'm gonna hard code the stuff I said I was gonna hard code, which is the here. Let's see. I'm gonna have a object that's gonna be, for now it's an object. The way I can want to be an object for now. Oh my goodness. Let me think about this real quick. 2 seconds to think about it. Do I want this to be an object? For now, that's okay. I'll figure out how to get it later. So basically, he's gonna say, I don't know, social stat repository. Let's put it like this, and then we say function get by widget ID, and we're gonna say widget ID is gonna be an int. I think that's what this comes back as, right? Is this an int? Yep, it's an int. And then this is gonna definitely be a suspend function, right? Or should it be a flow? Could be a flow. What? It could be a flow. Yeah, it could be a flow. Could be a flow. A flow of could be a flow of, for now, I'm just gonna say string for now. We'll figure this out later. Okay, and what does this look like? We can say return flow of, and then we just say hello for now. I'll figure this out later. Right, so when I was taking a look here at my social widget configure widget here, right? I don't think this is what I'm gonna want here. I just want to tell it to update itself. Ooh, app widget manager. Maybe just tell all to update. Update widgets, app widget ID. Why do I need to give it the view, the remote views? I just want to tell it, hey, I've updated. Just update all. Isn't there a way to do that? I thought there was. I saw that earlier, actually. Update periodically. App widget provider on update. But how do you do the actual update? This doesn't tell me how you do the update. Current state. Let's see, this say update. Yeah, these are different types of update. Okay, see, this needs the remote view. Partial update. This needs the remote views. Why do I need the remote views? Is it just r.layout, that widget layout? I don't have that. r.layout, that widget layout. You say social. Is it just that? But I am not using this. That's the thing. I am not using this social stat widget layout. Where is this being used? I bet you do a search and that's the only spot. Oh, in the manifest. Oh, this is the meta. This is for the info, not for the widget. For the widget itself, nobody's using it. Yeah, for the widget itself, nobody's using it. I want to update it, but without the view IDs. I don't need the view IDs. Update glance app without remote view layout. How to update a glance app instead of, okay. Your app widget that update. Is that really how you do it? Your app widget that update? So say social stat widget. That's a lie, bro. That's a lie. This doesn't exist here. Oh, this gets the personal. I don't want to get personal, but I'm interested in seeing how they got to update it. To update the widget, you can pass a variable in your glance widget constructor. Test glance widget state update all. Okay, so you said you want me to do this, that update. Oh, and then this lets me give it an ID. Glance ID, but it's a glance ID. I don't have a glance ID. I don't have the glance ID. Okay, it sends it to, let's see how they do it here then. Because it says it sends it to App Widget Manager. Is this App Widget Manager right here? No, it's not. Tracing begin glance update widget, app widget. This is how you get the glance ID. That's it. This is the glance ID right here. Okay. So, yeah, so it's just a wrapper. Oh, but do I have access to this? I don't have access to this. They should expose this then. So here, no, not here. Instead of the activity, app widget ID manager dot. Okay. Oh, there's a context, the instance, which is what we did. All right, but what these updates do? Let's take a look here. There's an update with the context. This one is okay here with the glance ID, but I can't. Why would they wrap it like this when they're gonna unwrap it anyways? Like, allow me to just pass it along then. Okay, there's no way I know how to update this then. Update all. What does update all do? There's an update all here, homie. Update all. It updates every single one of it based on the glance ID. They'll want to update all when I configure one. Update if. This is going to give me back the glance ID. Okay. I think I can use the update if then. So the way I would use the update if here is I'll say update if, and I give it the context, right? update if, and I give it a context, which is this, right? And then I provided if, and the predicate is if predicate state. You don't give me back the class ID. Shit. What is state? Get app widget state. Where does this come from? Get app widget state, glance state, get value. Update the state of an app widget. So if I define my own glance state, basically, my own type here. Okay. So this state, I could potentially hold on to what the ID is for the user profile here. But I could just do this base on the ID. Okay. I think I can do this like this. So I need to have in my this repository, I need to be able to like update, right? So basically the way how the database is going to work is we're going to have an observable, right? So you're going to have probably like an observer here, or observable that's yeah, so let's pretend this is the DB, right? And the DB, I'm just gonna say it's a what is this gonna be? I don't know. It could be like a StateFlow. This could be a StateFlow right now, but actually, let's just make it a mutable StateFlow, and we're gonna put this for string for now. We're gonna change this eventually. And we're going to default this to mutable state of, and I'm going to give it just a string like that. Sorry, mutable state, mutable state flow, like that. All right, dope. So then, what we're going to do here is the function to store, right? We're going to say save set profile for widget. So then we can say profile ID is going to be a long probably, and then we're going to have the widget ID, which is going to be an int, right? And basically this profile ID is going to correspond to one of these items here. So, and then the widget ID, we know what the widget ID is as we launch this. So I can then decide that, hey, I want to store this in my DB somehow, somewhere. And then once I update it here, so if I say, okay, these have to be suspend function though, right? These have to be suspend as well. Oh, well, maybe not this one, but this one did. So then I say, okay, DB that value equals, let's say, I'm gonna say random that next string, is it next int, plus yay, I don't know, whatever. Okay. I'm just trying to figure out how I can see this work. So I'm simulating that I have a database. Eventually I'm gonna have a database that I can pull this information from. But for now I'm gonna say, hey, there's two-part thing that needs to happen. One, when the activity is launched to configure your widget, we're gonna give you the chance to select one of the profiles that you favorited. Once you select that, we're going to then store that in our fake database by saying, hey, let's set the profile for that widget, and we're going to give it the profile ID and the widget ID. We have this information at this state when you click it. Then we're going to store that profile. We need to store this profile into that database. And then we need to, should trigger, will it trigger? It will trigger. Oh yeah, sorry. Okay, yeah, so once we store this to the database, this get widget by ID flow is gonna be observing the database for changes that are occurring for that on that table that has the mapping from app widget to profile ID. So this, once we see the map updates, then we're gonna emit it. So how do I do that? Can I observe on the map? Can I observe this? DB that observe collect. Flow of I wouldn't say, is it collect? Yeah, I think it's collect is what we want. So we collect this, and then this needs to also be a suspend function. So we collect this, and then we say if it equals I'm gonna say we're gonna hard code a profile ID here. Fake profile ID, and we're gonna say that is this guy here, which it looks like, I know it's long right now. This ID should be called a remote ID actually. For the searchable result, this should be remote ID instead. I'm gonna change this, remote ID, right? Because then eventually I'm gonna have, this should have a local ID, val local ID. Is this what I want here? Yeah, local ID, or the actual just ID would be along here. And for now, we're gonna say 0L, right? So that way it doesn't complain. But for these, we're gonna give it like 1L for now. And we're gonna also give this one like 2L. So whenever we pass in this, I'm gonna update this string to have that ID. Sorry, I'm trying to think here. If this is a string, what if I have this as a map instead? And this map gets updated every time I call this. Yeah, so yeah, let's pretend this is a map. Let's pretend this is a map here. And it has to be a mutable map, right? No, let's just pretend it's a map. A string no. Long to int. No, it's gonna be int to long. Int to long. And then we're gonna say empty map, right? And then whenever we set this here, we're gonna say, hey, the value is gonna be a map of, and we're gonna say the int, which is widget ID, to profile ID, right? And once you see this here, and we're collecting it, Then we're gonna look at these favorites here for now. So we're gonna say social stat widget, and once again, I am faking the database right now. Favorites. Oh, it's just favorites. Favorites that filter it that ID. Sorry, filter from the map. Map. Let's just call this map. Say map that first filter for map that first. It has to be first. A filter. It that key, which is the widget ID, equals the widget ID. And then this here can do values. It should only be one. Values that first, right? So then this will give me the long, which is going to be the profile ID, right? So this profile ID, I then use it to say, hey, can I return this? What does collect do? Accepts the given collector and emits values into it. To emit values from a shared flow into a specific collector, add a collector, emit all, or collect, use. A shared flow never completes. A call to flow collect or any other terminal operator on a shared flow never completes normally. So this is a terminal operator. Will this actually emit? So I think I need to say flow like this. And then this flow here needs to emit. Yeah, this is gonna have to emit a string. We can switch this now to search results. I think this might work. And then we're gonna say emit favorites. Okay, favorites that first or no, where it that ID equals the profile ID that we found, right? And then this is just, like I said, I'm mocking the database basically. And if this is not null, right, we'll then emit, oops. Yeah, we'll then emit this stuff. Okay, what time is it? Because I know I need to, okay, I have time. I have time. Dope. All right. I have time. I have about, I'm supposed to go do something at 10:30. It's 9:40 right now. So if 20 minutes, 30 minutes maybe, I'll be done. I think that'll be good. I might be able to hit the 2-hour mark. So yeah, let's test this out then. So the idea is that this will be reactive, right? So let's go here. Let's clean up some stuff that might need to be cleaned. What's this? Why is it? Oh, here. We're not going to be doing this here. Instead, when you click on something, we're gonna say, okay, social stat repository that set profile ID, widget ID, and we're gonna say the profile ID is gonna be an item click search results. Okay, what the item? Oh, it gives me back the ID, the remote ID. No, I don't want the remote ID. Okay, this makes sense why it's giving me the remote ID. Let's think about this. Should this be a remote ID or a regular ID? It has to be a regular ID because eventually this would be aggregate, right? In the case of search, this should return just a string. In the case of, okay, that's fine. let's change this like this. For now, profile remote ID. All right, and then here what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say this don't need to be suspend, right? But actually it might need to be suspend. Here I'm gonna then do favorites that filter first, or no, it that remote ID equals the profile remote ID, right? And then if this here is not null, oh, this needs to be a string. That's right. We're still gonna put this as long though. If this is not null, then we'll say the search result that ID is the one that we want. Okay, and then yeah, so this should work here. So we can reuse the search results. So see, it's nice when you have different layers, because then now this repository layer is not affecting my existing UI layer, right? So it's nice to be able to have those differences. When you have those different layers, it makes it easier for your code to be able to change easily, which, as you can see here, this is the case. So here we'll say it, which is the ID. ID is the one that was clicked, so we pass the ID along for this app widget ID. All right. Okay, hold on. I thought I had the app widget ID at this point. Yeah, I do. What's wrong here? Oh, I just called it widget ID. That's right. There you go. And this is saying it needs to be in the suspend function, so I can say lifecycle that launch this at here that lifecycle scope here that launch. The reason I want this to be a suspended function is because this could be an intense problem. Like it's not intense, but it could open the database and like fetch based on the remote ID, fetch the local ID, and then use that local ID to store it into another table that maps it to that specific app widget. So making this a specific function is not a bad idea, I don't think. All right, dope. So now we have a way to, we're setting the profile widget. Whenever we click a button here, we're setting the profile widget right in our fake singleton. The problem with this though, is that I don't know how it works as far as like memory is concerned. Maybe this just needs to be like in the share preferences for now. If this doesn't work, I'll just hard code it. That's fine, I'll just hard code it. And I can, the way to hard code it is I could just, yeah, we need to figure this out. Anyway, so then let's go see here in the social widget itself. This gives me the app widget ID, but there was something I was looking at that I could get the class ID, right? I get the class ID by wrapping it around. I forgot where you wrap it around. Collect a state, okay. All right, so let's say I have the app widget ID, and let's say social repository that get widget ID by the widget ID here. And they can do collect a state as state, yep. Initial, what's the type of initial? What is this returning to me? A search result. Fudge. Okay, let's think about this here. Here's my favorites. And I'm gonna say fun search. No, this just needs to be an empty search result, right? So let me just initialize this to something that doesn't exist. Search result ID equals 0L. No, we don't even give it that. I'm just gonna do this and default everything to empty. Like this. Boom, boom. Click. Here's, oh shoot, that almost fell. All right. Tip time. Hold option. Click here first, then hold option and shift. Then click everywhere you want to change. Oops, is it option? Oh, yeah, it is option. Click here, hold option, hold shift, then you can click in multiple places like that. Then we can do option shift, right arrow key, sorry, command option, right arrow key, which gets us to the end. While still holding shift, we'll go back one. We'll delete all of this, add empty string. Done. This can only happen from a composable function. Oh, so I'm not within the composable right here. Got it. But here I am. But this needs to happen from a coroutine. All right. If I do the collect as state though, val, what is this? This is my profile, social stat profile, right? I don't know. Then can I do by remember? Oh, remember doesn't work here. But there is a way to do this. Oh, you can use remember. Repository, see, it gets the instance here. And then it does it like this. Retrieve the cache data every time the content is refreshed. Dope, okay, yeah. So this is exactly what I want. But I need to import something that looks like. This is a spend function. Destinations collects as state. I see, so you don't want this to be, you want it to be a mutable state flow. I mean, okay, this makes sense. I could have like is that kind of how I would want it? If I had a view model, yeah, then that would be the one that gets updated over time, right? Because in this here, instead of emitting, it would, yeah, let this return here a mutable state flow actually of our searchable, right? And then initially, what I'm doing is I'm gonna emit it, and this doesn't have to be like this, I don't think. Right, and then this, the reason it's stripping is because it's emitting a flow. I don't know how I want to do this. Yo, what's up, hands so high? What's going on, my person? What's suspend? What's a suspend? Suspend is a keyword used in Kotlin to let you know that this function is a coroutine function. Is that the Java Flow API for reactive programming? It is not the Java Flow API, but it is the Kotlin Flow API. Java, I think, they need to introduce certain libraries. But yeah, this is for reactive programming. That is right. Suspend functions and flows is kind of like RxJava, but actually it's more like C# coroutine. That's where Kotlin got it from. So yeah, that's what I'm using right now. Thanks for coming by. Yo, where's my lights off? I just realized that my light went off. I gotta turn on my lights. Somebody turned off my lights. Who did? Probably my kids. There we go. Lights back on. But yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. And I'm trying to imitate that I'm hitting the database because I'm not ready to introduce this layer yet. So I'm just trying to like hard code that for now. But it's giving me some issues. I'm trying to think of how I'm going to consume this stuff, and I can't consume it here like this. The idea would be that this is a state flow, and then I can collect it as state, and as it changes, that'll be okay, right? Kind of like this. What's destinations repository? I would love to see what this is. Okay, let's see in here. Destinations repository. Where is this? Class destination repository. It's just a state flow that has destinations. So this would be updated over time, right? And that's kind of what I want to do here too. Right? But I want it to be based on this. But hold on, does this need to be a suspend? It does not need to be a suspend, actually. It can just be a flow. Yeah, I'm tripping. It can just be a flow. Yeah, all right, there we go. So this should work. Now I have my social stat profile. Once I have this, I can then use it to say, hey, okay, my total views here, for instance, are social stat profile that, okay, I don't know about this yet, but let's say channel name, and then we're gonna say it's this dot channel title. Okay, cool. I just want to see this work. This is what I'm trying to get to work. So let's run this and see if we can get this to work. If we can get this to work, then it's a matter of just changing our inward workings in the DB, right? Instead of it being hard coded like this, I need to just change the inner workings to support being able to persist the actual YouTube stats. So we launch this widget here, social stats, bam. It launches it, it looks weird. We click one, what does it do? Nothing. Oh, it probably did do something, but it doesn't finish. This needs to finish the activity. Because here I'm updating, I'm setting this profile, but then I'm not doing anything. You see that? So I want to then kill it. This doesn't work here then, huh? Right? So I want to see here what happens whenever I launch the activity for configure. For configuration. Snippets, glance. It's just these little things. Okay. Activity here. Actually start main activity. Okay, where's this main activity? This is what I want to know. Where is main activity? Main activity, main activity. Main activity. Is this one? Yeah. Let's see what main activity does. Start activity for result. Okay, so that's not gonna work with this though. Handle user interaction. I'm trying to do the configure. Does this have the configure portion? Yeah. You have now configured app widget using glance. No, but I'm talking about the configure from an activity. Okay, let's just try this finish, but let's also try the, what's it called? App widget manager. Right, and then we instantiate it? I don't remember. Get instance, I think. Get instance. And then this is the context right here. But how you been, Hanso? Hi, man. I haven't seen you in a while. How's life treating you? So then here I'm gonna, what does notify do? Notify app widget view change. Can I just update all? Partially update app widget. Update app widget. Oh my gosh. Okay. The other one was to use the glance app widget manager that I think you pass in the context as well. Yeah, you give it the context. Is there a get instance or no? Get instance? No. So pass in the context. Oh my gosh, I hate this keyboard. I need to get a new keyboard. Get app widget ID. No. Is there like a update? Notify? No. All right, what does this give me, bro? Because let's take a look at all the metas here. Update receiver, and that's internal. Get, request pin. Okay, none of this helps. I want to be able to update. Manage and update glance app. Okay, update glance app. My app widget update. Okay, I don't have a glance ID. That's the problem. Update all. Okay, we'll just use the update all. We'll just say social stat app widget that update all. Yeah, this. Hold on, can I provide an app widget? Update predicate glance ID. I don't have a glance ID, so I just have to update all for now. Let's see what this does. Hey, Sauce Gaming, how's it going? Sauce Gaming, how's it going? Hopefully having a good time. Welcome to the stream. What brings you by today? Do you do any Kotlin? Do you do any... Holy shit, bro. Yo. Oh my gosh, I got scared. Yo, thank you for the follow, one person. Appreciate it. Look, I've been followed now 128 times. And I've been scared 128 times. So thank you for scaring me. Thank you for the follow. Now I'm sweating. Now I'm really sweating. Woo, that scared me. Man. Okay. I promise I wasn't scared. Just kidding. I was scared. But okay. Thank you for the follow once again. Sorry to catch you off guard. I hope you enjoyed the stream, and I hope if you have any questions, go ahead and ask. I'm here to answer questions. I'm curious about you if you do any mobile development or anything like this. So yeah, let me know if you're interested. Dope. Let's run this and see what it gives us. App widget. Let's try to do this here. Launches it. Dope. Now we have our favorites. Let me just take out this, yeah, I don't need this right now. I'm extremely fresh to Java. Where did you originally learn? Well, welcome to Java, first of all. Where did I originally learn? If what you mean by that is what language I originally learned, it was C++. C++, and then eventually I skipped Java completely, actually. I went to Kotlin. I did do a little bit of Java on my own, but at work I learned Kotlin, and Kotlin has been my go-to for many years now. Yeah, so if that's what you meant, yeah, my first language was C++. Yo, so if you're just learning Java, I highly recommend you look into Kotlin, because Kotlin and Java are the same. Well, they're not exactly the same, but Kotlin is... You can write code in Kotlin that works for both Java and Kotlin. So give it a try if you're interested. That's what I'm using right now, and I love it. I guess I have a question for you. What made you want to use Java instead of something like Kotlin? Set result. Extra app widget ID. Cancel. Set this answer. This will cause the widget host to cancel out of the widget placement if the user press the back button. Make sure pass back the original app widget. Okay. I forgot where I found this documentation, but I feel like if I find this somewhere, and I think I found this here in the platform code actually. So let's search this here. Yeah, it was here that I found it. So, we bind this, and when they click this, the shared pref here, save this to the app widget. Okay, this is what I'm actually gonna have to do. Then I use this app widget manager to use this app widget to update based on the app widget ID. And then we set the result here. Okay, this is what I need here. I need to do this before I finish. Yo, it says, I recently got involved with a software engineer degree. Java is what they're mainly teaching. It still feels a bit overwhelming getting into code. Yeah, well, like I said again, welcome to the Codeland, software engineer. If Java is what they're teaching, obviously that's what you have to do. But if you're interested, I'll definitely try to look into Kotlin. Now, all that being said, it doesn't matter if you're still feeling overwhelmed about the code. So my question to you would be, what is making you feel overwhelmed? Is it just the way how you have to think when you write code, or is it like all of the stuff that's being thrown at you? What is it that's being overwhelming to you? Maybe I do have a lot of experience, so maybe I can tell you Yo, made my heart that's flutter right now. Thank you so much. But yeah, let me know what is overwhelming to you. Maybe I could give you some advice. Man, you really made my day today. That subscriber, thank you so much. If you're interested, also join my Discord channel. If you type #Discord, you'll see it. And I always answer questions on there. So if you have any questions regarding code, if you need some mentorship, I'll give you as much mentorship as I can with the time I have, because I don't have a lot of time. So I do mentorship. For instance, I'm gonna start a series on Saturdays where I'm teaching a good friend of mine, a good family member of mine who is learning Python. So I'm gonna start doing that on Saturdays. But that being said, if you have any questions, please hit me up on the Discord. I'm always down to help. I'll be like completely honest. There's not a lot of people in there, but the people who are in there, when they ask questions, I'm always there to answer it. So please, that's the easy way to get in contact with me. And yeah, if you want any questions answered, just let me know. But I talk too much. I go back. I digress. I'm curious about you. Thank you again for the subscription. What's making you overwhelmed when you code? What is it that's overwhelming you? Hey, maybe I can help out. Though, okay, so while you're thinking that and let that marinate in your brain, let me test out what I got going on here. So when I click this, it finishes, but it doesn't create the widget. Which makes sense, because if I am storing this in memory, and I'm not stored in the shared preferences, then by the time the widget gets launched, and it hits this code right here to get the widget by ID, this will never be updated because this is all in memory. So I need to take a page out of this example and store it into the shared preferences like it's doing right here. Yeah, so this is kind of what I want to do. And I'll just have a comment here for now. But then what I do want to see is what this list share preference looks like. There we go. Let's take a look at this. The overall amount of code feels like a lot to chew. When you started learning, did it suddenly click with you, or did it feel like it took a lot of time to understand? That's a good question. So I think for me, what clicked for me pretty much, like not immediately, but like very, very early, was logic. Being able to think, very logically, very, very stepwise. So like a robot, if this, if that, or for loops, being able to think logically, that clicked for me. When it came to the syntax and the concepts of programming, that did take me some time to gather up to. But the logic itself, like why this code is being executed, why do we want to execute it in this manner, that kind of makes sense to me, like from a logic standpoint. But definitely the concepts took me some time. I don't know if that helps. But what I'll say for you, if you're feeling very overwhelmed by the amount of information you're being told to do, what I think you should do is just try to build small applications for yourself. No, that helps. It's encouraging. Okay, dope. That's good. That's good. Yeah. So what am I building today? I'm building an app that allows you here. I'll just show you real quick. I am building this app, and this app is just going to be a simple, straight app that is actually. Sorry, I'm all over the place all the time. I'm trying to make a competition to this app. So this app is a subscribers counter app, which it just lists out the YouTube users that you have, and then you can view their stats, like the amount of videos they have, total views of videos, subscribers, and views they've uploaded. So I'm trying to build a competition to this. A good feature of this app is widgets. So it has widgets that can be displayed. So today I'm focusing on the widget portion of this app. Right now, what I have for my app is I have the capability for you to search. So if I search for myself, I can see myself here, my YouTube channel, and everything that I have here. Eventually, I'll be able to favorite this. Once I'm able to favorite this, I can then have a widget that will show my favorited elements, or sorry, my favorited profiles, and they should appear here in this list. Then you can choose which one of those profiles you want to then display all of the stats on it. So it's going to be a small, simple app that I'm building. It shouldn't take me more than a week to do. And then I want to just upload it to the Play Store because, believe it or not, with over 10 years of experience, I have never published an app for myself. I'll publish apps for many employees, many clients, but for myself, I've never published an app. So my goal is I want to publish at least 2 apps in the next 6 months and get them monetized. I want to, if it's even $10 a month that is bringing me on ads, that's what I want to do. So the goal of this app initially starts out to be a competition of this one, but eventually I want to give you the opportunity to bridge the data between the different social platforms, so you can then see all the data in one profile and have it in a widget. And eventually I want to build it into a watch app as well, so you can then see that here, just to kind of like enhance my understanding of how to build apps for watches, for widgets, and for your regular application. So it's kind of like, I don't know, I'm learning, I'm trying to make money, I'm trying to teach, and hopefully everybody can be this journey and we can just have fun while we do it. So that's kind of why I'm here. It's not kind of why I'm here, it's why I'm here. Dope. Okay, so that being said, I understand the issue that I'm having right now with this widget right here, which means I need to store everything in the shared preference. That's a lot. Sorry. I'm just still super happy that you subscribed. Okay, anyways, let's go take a look at the platform code here. So this is the share pref. Sorry, I'm trying to make a conversation with you. I'm trying to understand what you are learning in school, and yeah, if there's anything I could help with. So I'll continue working on my stuff, but if you have any questions about your schooling and about programming in general, or if you're just here to chill, appreciate it. I appreciate you being here. Dope. Let's continue. So this is the way how we're gonna have to do the shared prefs thing. I have to leave in like 15 minutes. All right. So let's hurry up and do this shared pref stuff. I can just copy this over. I think this would be okay. We'll copy this, and I'm gonna throw it right here because I'm gonna refactor this here in a bit. Let's get rid of this file for now. Open this up a little bit and pull these in. Right, I can definitely do this really fast. Why are we using the grocery list here? What is this for? Load widget, save widget layout ID pref. Where is this being used? App widget ID list. Layout widget to-do list. Why do we need this widget layout ID though? This is needed for this layout ID. Where is it used? I personally don't need this layout ID. Yeah, I personally don't need this. All I need is update app widget right here. But this is inside of the, list app widget. List app widget, this is the app widget provider. And this has the update app widget here. So this is a static method that takes the widget manager and the widget ID. To do use deep link, okay. App open intent. This happens when somebody clicks, right? When somebody clicks from the activity. Yeah, this is the configure. They click the configure for, they click one of these buttons. It launches the activity. Sorry, it saves the stuff to preferences and it closes the activity. So when it's saving, no problem, man. If you're working, or gal, sorry, I don't know. You're working, you just got a call. It's all good, it's all good. I was just saying that if you have any questions, just shoot it to me. And that you caught me at the end of my stream, so I'll be leaving here in 15 minutes or so. I have stuff to do. But I do plan to start streaming a little bit every Saturday and Sundays. Saturdays is definitely going to be a mentoring day. I'm going to have a guest person come on and we're going to be going through Python. And that stream, I'm not going to be focused about my viewers. I'm going to be focusing about my mentee. So, yeah, if you want to look at that, more than welcome to join. But then also on Sundays, I'm trying to continue working on my apps. That way I can hopefully, I want to get to the point where I have passive income based on these apps. So that's my goal. And I think I can achieve that in the next 6 months. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Dope. So in this one for now, I need to probably copy over this one as well. Listen, man, you're the first developer out of 6 streamers that made me feel welcome. Thanks for being you. Yo, you're hitting me in the feels right now. I really appreciate that. You know, I personally think that everybody needs to be heard and everybody needs to be, you know, I don't know. You just need to be heard. You need to be listened. So whoever comes on my stream, I don't care who it is. I like having conversations. I like building relationships. So welcome. You're gonna always feel welcome in my stream. And I will always have a voice. I will always try to listen to anything you have to say, or anybody for that matter. So welcome again, and thank you so much. Really, thank you so much for your subscription. But yeah, let's try to knock this out in the next 15 minutes or so, and then we can hang out again another day. So let's see here. The update widget app, right, is here. All right, we're seeing this activity intent. Okay, we don't care about deep link for now. This is dependent intent, construct remote views. This is the interesting one. So this is why we need the layout view. So if it's this, yo, my God, whoa. Thank you so freaking much. Wow. Yo, oh my gosh. Yo, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Wow. To be honest, this is a first for me. I'm so stoked. You made my super day. Thank you so much. I'm in awe. Yo, I didn't even know what to do with that. I was sweating now thinking about all of that. Oh, yo, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. For real. That's crazy. That's crazy. Oh, wow. I don't know what to do with that, to be honest. I just try to keep going. Oh man, that's awesome. I'm almost teary-eyed too. I'm sweating a lot. All right. Okay, I gotta refocus. Thank you once again for all of those, you know, whatever subs. I don't know much about Twitch either, but thank you so much for giving away those subs and for making me reach my goal. You definitely made my day, probably my week, probably my month. I'm gonna remember this. So appreciate it so much. Actually, forever, because you're the first one that's done something like this for me. So thank you. Let's recenter, let's refocus, let's get back on this. So this is, and clearly I have some delays in the notifications. I need to work on that because I've never had so many people subscribe or somebody give me subs. So I never know that's how it sounded. I'll have to figure that out later. All right, so let's see here. Whenever we're trying to update the web app widget, why do we need the remote view? Specify the maximum width and height in DP for the specified size. Create responsive size app widget. I see. So you're trying, the reason we have the layout ID is for us to dynamically change the way our widget is going to look based on the layout ID that was selected. Let's take a look at this construct remote views. So this here's, I don't want to construct remote views because I don't need to update a remote view. Okay. I don't think I need to do this. I need to see how I am doing here. Okay, this is doing the update all. And then this is finishing. Let's run this again. Let's run this again. I'm curious about how this is going. What's going on here? Oh, solid reference. Let's not worry about this shared preferences for now. Okay. Actually, let me just do this here real quick. I don't need, yeah, I don't need this. Load layout ID perfect. No. All I need to do is I need to save this ID here. Yeah, this profile remote ID. So I'm gonna have, this is fine for now, context app widget ID, and then I'm gonna give it remote ID, right? No, I should have the local ID here. So profile ID here should be along at this point. Yeah, it should be along. So this profile ID, we're just gonna put this in here. Put long, and then we're just gonna get it as well. So load, all right, so in this case, save profile ID pref, and then we're gonna do the same, but for load, based on the app widget ID, and then we're gonna get this here, and we don't need this, I don't think. This is get long, and the default value we're gonna say is just 0. Why are you tripping? Oh, because this is an int, and we need to return a long. No, we don't need this last one here, right? So what I'm going to do here then is in my activity, whenever I select it, how I was setting this here, I will have to use the context to save it to the preference. So fun is the variable or the variable type like string. You're saying fun like this fun here. So fun is saying this is a function. A variable is val or var. So yeah, I can show you real quick. So yeah, you can have like fun for function test. So this is my function, right? Then you have var, which is, let's say, my variable. And I can say this is a variable that's a string. And then I have val, which is my immutable variable, which could also, you could say string, or you could not say what it is, and that's fine too. In Kotlin, that's fine too. The difference between var and val, I can explain it to you eventually if you're curious about it, but there's differences. But yeah, that's what it is. Dope. So here, save profile ID. I'll do this from my activity actually. So here I'll do list that list shared perps, and I'll probably call it something later. And context is going to be this at that, and then the app widget ID is going to be my app widget ID, and then the profile ID is going to be the ID here. Dope. What you're saying is a string. No, so then what I'll do here instead then is I'm going to copy what I did here for this, which is to get that value from the favorites, and I'll do that here. So favorite first null based on the remote ID, and if that is not known, actually, then we'll actually save it. So return at coroutine launch eval local ID, and then we'll pass that local ID as the profile ID. This should be a long. That ID. There you go. Así pasa. I noticed this language doesn't really use semicolons. Really cool. Yeah, that's why I like this over Java, because Java, there's a lot of verbosity in the things that you do. There's a lot of semicolon, like because in Java you have to do something like let's see what you have to do. String my string equals whatever string, right? But here I can just say val my string equals string, and it is implied that it is a string. So that's kind of like the same thing. Oh, and then I would need a semicolon, right? Or if I wanted to write a function, right? I forget how to write functions. Void function, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, yeah. This one you don't have to type semicolons. You don't have to specify the type of the variable. You just kind of code. And that's what I like. It takes away a lot of the extra thinking that you don't really need to think in Java, and you just do it. So yeah. Let's see here. So I've successfully saved my profile ID here. I'm not gonna use this here because it's not gonna work for now. Then I say, hey, go ahead and update all and close, right? And finish. That's what this is doing for me. Dope. Then in my actual widget, I need to load it, and I load it by using the app widget ID here, but I need to load it from preference. So I need the context for this too. So for now, I'm just gonna say you need the context here. And then what I'll do is I'll use the list share preference here that load using the context. And then we need the app widget ID, which is the widget ID. And then this is gonna give me the profile ID that I need. And then based on this profile ID, I'll go ahead and get, yeah, this should work from here like this. Right? What am I shadowing? This profile ID. Okay. So I have the profile ID here, and then I just get it from, favorites. Do I even need this? I don't need this. Collect, yeah. That's it. This is what I need here. Dope. So I think this is gonna work now as far as my widget is concerned, because I have, let me walk through it real quick. Whenever I launch whenever I try to create my widget here, this launches a configure activity, which is this code right here. Whenever I click, right, on item click, whenever I click one of these, I am going to then store that local ID for that profile into my shared preferences. Once I store it, I say, hey, widget, update yourself, and then I close the screen. When I say widget, update yourself, this will, I think it's gonna call its provide glance method. Yeah, I think it's gonna call the provide glance method again, which is, we will then be able to get the app widget ID that we use to get the widget that we stored in our shared preferences. So when we go get the widget, we get what was in our stored shared preferences, and we return the one from these. So yeah, this should work. I just need to fix this compilation issue right here. This compiler warning or error. Oh yeah, I didn't pass context. So I do need to give the context. which I wonder if I said local context, is that something I can give? Glance that current, yeah, dope. Let's see how this works. Let's see how this works, and then this is probably gonna be my stopping point, because I do have to go train my son. He's in basketball, and we hoopers in this house, so he's doing pretty well, and he wants to train more because now he's like, I feel like I can do even better. All right, I click browse, it closed, and it created a widget. Hell yeah! It says channel name, but the channel name is not displayed appropriately. It's supposed to give me the channel title here. Let's try to get the channel title to work. The channel title is should here. So okay, let's do it this way. Can I attach? I wonder if I can. Can I put a breakpoint on this and run it like this? Is that allowed? I don't know. I've never done a breakpoint on a widget app before. Hey, come on, what's going on here? Yeah, I know. Okay, let's try to do this again. I don't know how. Waiting for process from com.social stats. So it's installed. It's just, I guess I need to invoke it. So let's try to reconfigure it. Hit browse, but it still don't hit this. All right, that's fine. That's fine. What I can do though is I can do this here. Print line. I say, hey, yo, you are in the widget. Stars gaming 1. Then I say print hello. This is the profile. Print line social stat profile. And we print it out. And then we open logcat here, and we will see what happens. I want to create, I am in the social, okay. This is the activity that gets invoked. I don't need to worry about this anymore. Instead, why is that not loading? Let me kill this. Try to create a new one. Actually, let me run it again because I want to get rid of those extra print statements that I had. Okay, logcat, where are you? Dope. Widgets. I want to create, I just attached the window. Hey, you are in the widget saw gaming 1. This is the profile. We don't have any profile yet. I click browse. It doesn't launch it again. So how do I trigger the update? That's the problem. I think this update all is not working. I might have to put a stop on this here. And then eventually, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to stop here and then come back to this because I do have a previous engagement that I need to go to. And trying to debug this, I don't know if it's gonna, yeah, it's gonna take me some time. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's gonna be it for me for today. I'm gonna put a stop on this. I think this is a good stop. I will commit later on. But for now, I think this is where it's at. Dope. Well, this is it for today. You know, definitely my highlight of the freaking day was my person Sauce Gaming. Thank you so much for this, for the follower. Thank you so much for the subscription. And on top of that, thank you so much for gifting all those subscriptions, man. Really made my day. Thank you so much. I really hope you can come back to the stream. I'll see you next weekend. Same time. I try to come as early as possible. I do have a life. I'm a dad and, you know, husband and all of that. So I do need to focus on family time. But I need to put in the grind too and get my stuff done. So yeah, don't forget, if you have any questions, hit me up on the Discord. I got you anytime you want. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for coming through. Peace.